Welcome to Franchise Focus. I'm your host, Lisa Linkowski. I am the owner of Milestone Franchising, and I'm a certified franchise consultant, which means that I look at hundreds of different franchise concepts, and then I help to bring these different concepts to the show. And today I'm very pleased to welcome Lauren Borawski, who is crushing it as the founder of Child's Play Challenge courses. And welcome, Lauren.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here right now.
No, this is terrific, and you have such a great story to tell. And before we get into that, I always like to hear, what were you doing before you came into the franchising space?
Yeah, so before Child's Play Challenge courses, I had worked for over 30 years in television and the performing arts. I spent the last 24 years of that career at the New Jersey Performing Arts Center. I was a founding staff member there, and I was a production manager, a stage manager, event manager, operations manager. So I guess you could say I have logistics flowing through my veins. Yeah.
Excellent. So you were well steeped in a completely different environment
Sure was.
than what we're going to talk about here. So you're the co-founder,
Yes.
and I love that you're crushing it, and you are crushing it. And it's not just you. You're the co-founder. You have your husband, Matt, is on this journey with you. How the heck did you come up with this concept? Walk us through that.
Sure. So Matt was working as a fitness instructor, personal trainer, and he was working at our local gym. And he was also working in the child care center there. He made extra money. He loved working with kids. He was really good with them. And a parent came up to him one day and said, you are so good with these kids, and I have a block party coming up. Would you do a sports-related activity, keep them busy? And so we tossed around a few ideas, and I remembered, okay, so Matt loves to build things. He's very creative, and he also loved doing all those endurance races. So he was doing the Tough Mudders, he was doing the Spartans, and I kind of put all these thoughts in my head, and I said, why don't we build an obstacle course for them? And he thought it was a great idea. I didn't know what I was, little did I know, right? I was like, hey, make an obstacle course, and he did. And he knows how kids love a competition, and they love to challenge themselves, so he thought it was a great idea. And that's what he did. He went out to our local hardware store and built this mini version of our obstacle course right in our driveway. And he has a graphic design background as well, so he was able to design certificates and prizes for the kids. We put everything in the back of our car, drove out to the block party, and it was a huge success. Like, people loved it, and parents were jumping on it, and the kids were playing on it, and folks were saying, what else do you do? Do you do birthday parties? Do you come to schools? This is great. And that was it, and we said, we think we have a business here.
Right, and what year was this?
That was in 2014.
Yeah. So all because he went and he had this idea, starts to build it, and then one parent's like, I want that for my kid, and another parent, and then another parent, and then before you know it, you're sitting there going, we thought this was just some sort of hobby one-off thing, and instead it turns out to be this business that you have going here. So let's just take a moment. So you're at NJPAC, and you're still there during this time, right?
Yeah.
You're still there, and I want to speak to this statement. You thought that you always had to work for someone else, and you needed that security blanket.
Yeah.
So when did you decide to take that blanket off and come into this full time?
Well, yeah, I loved my career, and I loved working there. I loved working for other people. It was, like I said, it was something that I just thought I had to do, And, COVID came along and changed a lot of things. And it changed my mindset, because what happened was, so I was working full-time at NJPAC, full-time on our business, 100 hours a week every week, and I was very content until, I guess I wasn't. I started getting burned out.
Right.
And right at that time, COVID hit. And what happened was, I got furloughed from my job. But Child's Play, it thrived. It did so well during this pandemic, and for the first time, I was able to dedicate 100% of my time on our business. And I had never had that before. And I felt so free. It was exhilarating. I felt like I was living life on my own terms, making my own rules and what we wanted it to be. And because we thrived, and I was able to really reinvent us during COVID when I could focus on it, and I said, all right, that taught me, it taught me that we had all the security that we ever needed, and we were going to be okay. If we could navigate through that, we could do anything. And I got that taste of what it felt like to be outside every day, working with our course crushers and on the challenge course instead of inside in a conference room running meetings. It was just a different feeling for me.
And that's what, and listen, when I'm consulting with candidates, and that's one of the hardest things for trying to walk away from the benefits and the team, the team atmosphere and all the things that the corporate world gives you, which are great, but being an entrepreneur, being in it for yourself, it's a totally different thing. And so I really wanted to cover that, because when you said that to me, it resonated so much, because I hear that so often. It's that fear of sitting there and walking away from everything and going, this is it, we're all in, right? So, you hear about an obstacle course for kids and you hear, oh, we thrived during the pandemic. You couldn't have everyone right next to each other in the beginning, right? So what did you guys do? Because you couldn't have that. What did you do for birthday parties?
Yeah, it was scary. It's not exactly easy running a business that relies on shared equipment and social gatherings during a pandemic. So first 3 months were pretty bleak. I think they were for everybody. And then what happened was, the first thing that happened was the birthday parties got canceled. And we felt so bad for the kids that canceled their parties. And we said, we need to do something for them. And I started seeing on social media, people were drawing obstacle courses in chalk on their sidewalks. And they were doing chalk pictures and all kinds of things. And I said, wait a minute, obstacle course, oh my gosh, that's us. We can do that. So of course we took it to a new level. And Matt designed templates, he cut them out based on our obstacles. And he rigged together a spray gun with chalk paint and water, and we sprayed these 2D obstacle courses on people's driveways. So we would go to the birthday child's home. They didn't know we were coming. Their party was canceled. We had a big sign that said happy birthday, and when they were in the house, we were spraying down the obstacle course on their driveway, and then we'd call them out with a megaphone, and we had a siren, and the kids would come out, and it was so heartwarming to see that, and we gave them an MVP medal, but it was a socially distant way to do it. I mean, we would stand at the end of the sidewalk, and they'd be in their driveway, and we'd be on the megaphone, coaching them through it and showing them what to do, and that became really popular, and we started getting requests for people who saw that and wanted that. And then another thing we did, we had always had an enrichment program that went to schools, after school enrichment. Really beautiful program that we do. And the schools shut down, we couldn't do them, but I said, wait, there are people doing pods of kids in their home, hosting them, so if another parent had to go to work and everybody would go to this person's house, and there's also a way to keep them social. And they felt like they were in their bubble, they knew these folks. And I said, well, they gotta stay active, and what if we brought our enrichment program to people's homes in their backyard for these kids that are already together? So we started doing the backyard enrichment program, and that was a huge hit. We went from doing 5 classes a week in schools to doing, I think we were doing 16 classes a week. My husband, Matt, was just going from one backyard to the next with this enrichment program.
Yeah, so this is the ultimate pivot, literally the ultimate pivot, that you guys have this business, and it doesn't resonate well with, everything that happened with the pandemic, so then you guys are shifting, and then you shift, and then you shift, and then the sun comes, the clouds clear, and now you go full steam ahead. And you say, we're back in business, baby, and we've never, at some point, to sit there and go, do we hold on to this? Do we let it go? No, you guys were like, no, we've got something. We are all in with this, right?
We were not giving up on that mission. And, that's the whole thing, is to keep people active and healthy and outdoors and socializing. And we were going to find a way to do that. We were committed to that. And another thing, too, is, we were always portable, so we always come to the client's location. So the camps that couldn't go to facilities on field trips, they started bringing us in, the camps that were still up and running in that summer. So we would go to them in the safety and comfort of their own facility. Same thing with birthday parties. We followed our state guidelines as far as how many people could be at an event or an activity. We were sure that the host followed that. But people were comfortable in their homes, and we were outdoors.
Right.
And so we kept that going, we kept camps going, and and when I could focus my energies 100% on our business, like I said, we thrived. We had waiting lists during COVID. So
Wow.
yeah, so
Wow.
it was great.
So tell me, 2014, you guys start this business.
Yeah.
When was that? Aha, we have something that cannot just, that not only we have a business for ourselves, but we have something where other people can turn this into their own
Yeah.
business and franchise this concept. What year was that? What made you realize that?
I think it was a couple of things. I think in 2018 is when we went to our first camp conference. So we went to the Tri-State Camp Conference and we said, let's take a chance, let's see, right, where this goes. And the camp directors fell in love with what we had, and it was something new and different, and they were so excited. So that year, business quadrupled. So we started going out of state. So that's when I started saying, oh, this translates well everywhere we go. We were in 4 different states, I think it was that summer, traveling around. We got big enough where we got a second truck. So we had other people that we were hiring going out and running the program. So I said, okay, it doesn't need me and Matt to run it. You know, we train the folks, they go out and they're doing an amazing job. So we saw that that could happen. And then we started meeting with our advisor at the Small Business Development Center at Kean University. Give them a plug because they're amazing. And that was where our advisor, David Margulies, he put the bug in our ear pretty early on in around 2018. And he said, you know, this business is highly franchisable. And that was the first time I had ever even thought of that. And it just seemed daunting, right? It just seemed like I can't even think of that right now. But as the years went on and we ended up with waiting lists and calls from around the country, people call us from California, Canada, Chicago, Florida. I've never seen anything like this. Can you come to us? So it all just got pieced together where I said, okay, this is franchisable and we need to expand to meet the demand, is what I say. And that's when we knew that was the next step.
Sure. So 2018, you get this aha moment.
Yeah.
Takes what, about a year for the whole thing to become a franchise, give or take, 2019-ish, or no?
We waited, though. We waited to become a franchise. We did. We were running our own company trucks because we thought, okay, well, maybe we will expand running our own trucks.
Right.
And so we were tossing around the idea for a while, and then people just kept saying to us, all right, so we go somewhere, people say one of 3 things. They say, I've never seen anything like this. They say, wow, you should be on Shark Tank. And they say, are you a franchise? And we heard it so many times, and we said, you know, it doesn't make sense to have more corporate trucks going out there, and it makes sense to franchise. And that's when I left my former career behind, because I knew if I was going to do that with Matt, I had to be in 100%, because it's a lot, it's a big commitment.
Yeah.
So we just became a franchise last year, so
That's
we're
right.
excited.
So you just became a franchise, right?
Yeah.
And that whole process is about that year-ish time period,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah,
it's
it took about a year.
And you were saying you almost made it on Shark Tank a couple times as well.
A couple of times.
Couple
got to those
times,
final
right? You
rounds.
almost got right up to the, but you know,
Yeah.
you've got all this momentum and you hearing all of that where
Yeah.
people do say that, you know, often with a brick and mortar, people will come in and go, is this a franchise? You keep hearing something like that
Yeah.
over and over. It starts to, stick and it starts to go.
Yeah.
So it's daunting trying to become a
Ew.
franchise.
Yeah.
It's not for the, it's complex. How did you even know where to begin? How did you landed with SMB Advisors?
Yes.
Give a shout out
Oh,
to
they're
Steve
amazing.
and the team,
Yeah.
Steve Biegelman and the team. How did you land with them? Did someone introduce you to them?
Yeah.
Did you Google them? What happened?
So we were doing a birthday party, and one of the dads, are you a franchise? And we said no, but it was right when we said we're going to do this. Like that was when we knew we were doing it. And he said, oh, I know somebody who could help you with that. And he knew Steve Biegelman, and he knew SMB, and he gave us their information, met with them, and I didn't need to look any further. I mean, we just knew right away that they were the team for us. They are amazing, very intelligent, wonderful people.
Yeah.
And we also knew there was no way we were going to enter into the franchise world without a consultant.
Yeah.
It's a different language.
It is. It's a totally
Yeah.
different language.
Yeah.
Well, we have so much more to talk about, Lauren, and so much more language to speak in the franchise space, but we're going to take a quick break. We're going to hear a word from our sponsor, Zoom One Media, and I think we even have a special commercial about your concept, Lauren.
we do.
So hold on tight and stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Bob Hochgertle from Kings Road Brewing Company. I'm here to tell you about a brand new show on RVN television called Cooking with the King. Each week, we're going to taste and sample some of the best beers the Kings Road Brewing Company has to offer. And we're going to talk to area chefs and restaurant owners as we pair our beer with their signature dishes. We're going to teach you how to cook and eat like a king. Cheers.
A stroke can be easy to detect. A loved one can't speak, perhaps they can't move. But there's another sign of a stroke that many of us can't see. It's called spatial neglect, and it can occur during or after a stroke, causing distorted visual movements. Fortunately, there's a solution by using optical prism technology during rehabilitation. If you or a loved one have experienced a stroke, ask your doctor about spatial neglect. Spatial neglect. See the whole picture at KesslerFoundation.org.
Are you burned out, disenfranchised, disengaged, extremely distracted? Do you feel that you're lost in semantics, over-leveraged, overwhelmed? My name is Lisa Fratelli, and I have a show on RVN TV, always streaming. The name of the show is The Neuroscience of Wealth and Well-Being. The intention of this show
Welcome back to Franchise Focus. I'm your host, Lisa Linkowski, and I've got Lauren Borawski sitting here with me, and she is crushing it as the founder of Child's Play Challenge courses. And if you happen to stay and watch the commercial that was right up to this, you got to see the full experience of what this is all about, which is an obstacle course for kids age 2 or 3 on up to 99, right?
Yeah.
You get to
Yeah.
sit there and take part in this. And, you know, it really walked you through and showed you what it looks like and what it's ideal for and all the different multiple revenue streams,
Yeah.
which as a consultant, that is really important to me. I always want to hear multiple revenue streams. So talk to us, Lauren, about who you have envisioned to be the ideal franchise owner, the franchisee to come in now and be with you and start to go on this journey with you to expand this great concept across the country.
Absolutely. I mean, I think our ideal candidate, they're going to come from many walks of life. I really believe that. I think that those who support our mission of keeping folks healthy and active and unplugged, people that want to bring folks together to change lives and challenge limits, it's a very mission-driven lifestyle. I mean, I think there's people with certain backgrounds that are going to be natural fit. I think teachers, I can see fitness instructors and folks who can motivate groups of people and lead active lifestyles themselves. I think they're going to be a great fit for what we do. But like I said, I wouldn't want to limit. Look, I came from a theater background.
Right.
You know what I mean? You don't know.
You would never have known.
Yeah, I think people, it's going to resonate strongly with a lot of people. I wouldn't want to limit ourselves, you know, to who that person could be, because it can be a lot of different people.
Right, but this is a hands-on deck concept, you know, especially in the beginning, because you've got to get your team involved, you've got to establish your culture,
Yeah.
you've got to get your business, you've got to get business coming. It's not one of those things where you just build it and automatically everything just starts happening. You, the owner, the potential owner, they've got to do business development to really get in the community, to make awareness about
Yeah.
this concept, right?
Yes.
So there's a lot that has to be done from the owner's standpoint, but it's fun. Like you said, it's mission driven. It's very different. I think that for me,
Yeah.
and not different in a trendy way, different in a, it's just not something that I run across on a regular basis, and I think that's really exciting.
Yeah.
And we know that right now, more than ever, people need socialization, they need exercise, they need fun. Kids need fun. We need fun for these kids, right? So
Yeah.
you're bringing all of that. So yeah, you don't need to limit who it's for, but business development, I would think, is going to be one of your big, and being able to herd a team. You know, it's going to be herding cats and having that team empowerment and, you know, that rah-rah, you know,
Yeah.
sis boom bah kind of, right? Because that's probably the energy level that you guys have.
Definitely. But you know, I mean, we're happy to help somebody get involved in as much of the physical aspect as they want to get involved in. You don't have to be a ninja warrior.
Right.
I'm not anywhere close to being a ninja warrior to be involved in the business. I mean, maybe your strong suit is running the business aspect of it and the day-to-day operations, and you're engaging with your community, sure. And maybe you have somebody that is going to help, you know, is going to set up your equipment and,
yeah.
and run your parties. And, you know, sure, you could look at it that way as well.
Sure.
But there's definitely a lot of community engagement, of getting involved. And I mean, we have it down to a science. I mean, I can't wait to work with our franchisees to show them the most effective ways to do that, and to be able to work with the schools and the community events and the parents and really get involved. Our town knows who we are. They know us, you know, and that's a wonderful feeling to be able to get involved like that, to bring folks together of all ages and all abilities. We work with the special needs community as well. So it's a very rewarding experience. And I mean, I personally think that people are going to want to be out there and enjoy it as much as we do, you know, like being with their course crushers and engaging with them. And, you know, you get a great client and folks that are very excited, you know, and it's like it's not even work.
Right.
You know, you're just having fun.
You're just having fun.
You're playing and having fun with them.
And you're doing something great for the community at the same time, right? So I emphasize about that this is a unique concept, and that is really what I'm so drawn to from this. Also, it's not brick and mortar, so I love that. So you just need a wrap vehicle, right? In the beginning, you're requiring a wrap vehicle, and then all the equipment that goes in. So the investment is, that's what it's including, is all that, you know, all what comes into that, that you can then go and set up. And that's nice because you're not tied to a lease and you're not tied to that brick and mortar stranglehold, that, you know, that 10-year lease and what have you. And so many people are looking for that kind of an option, that mobile type based concept. So I love that.
Mobile home-based concept where it's flexible and it's scalable. You know, like you said, it's not brick and mortar. We made that decision very early on, where we said we don't want to compete with every ninja gym out there. They're great, but there's so many of them. And what made us unique that day at that block party was that we came to them. You know, right in the comfort of their own location. So that is what is very unique about us. And the fact that we can fit into so many different spaces. We have been in conference rooms and classrooms and indoors and outdoors. And it's a very unique way to bring people together off of the screens and unplugging and away from the reliance of social media. You know, I mean, computers, coding, it's great, right? But kids need more. They need more than that. There's a power of physical play. That you're always going to need that.
And kids just being kids, right? And then it's versatile. And then you'll have the parents in the background taking the video and then tagging your business, and then other people get to hear about that. But that's the marketing side of me speaking, right? The social media piece for you is huge. So you are just doing gangbusters. Like literally, you're winning awards nonstop. There's so many awards, in fact, that I can't even really describe them because I'm going to trip up on them. So tell us about some of the awards that you've won lately.
We were so honored. Oh my gosh. So we just got, New Jersey Small Business Development Centers, there's 11 of them throughout the state, and each one had their award winner for the 2022 award for the Small Business Growth Success Award. For our resilience and tenacity and our growth that we were achieving. So we got that award. That was wonderful. And I was also nominated through that center for the Small Business Person of the Year from the Small Business Administration for the state of New Jersey. So, and I won that award. So I'll be going down to Washington, D.C. at the end of April for Small Business Week to kick that off with the other state winners, and we'll get our award. We'll find out who wins the national title. We'll find out at that. So, you know, fingers crossed. You never know.
Yeah. I mean, it's really, you're doing fantastic, really amazing. And the NJ SBDC, that's a nonprofit. You don't pay money for it. They're there as a resource in the state of New Jersey for people that want to get into business ownership and get guidance. Right, and that's what you used for quite a bit of this.
The Small Business Administration has so many amazing programs under it. They have SCORE, they have, and the Small Business Development Centers is one of them. And look, when we first started out, we knew we had a great business idea, but we didn't have any money in the beginning. Like, we lacked the resources to get the help that we truly needed. We knew we needed a consultant to guide us. And I found the Small Business Development Center. It led me to Kane University because that's the one in our area. And I mean, really for like the last 5 years, guiding us, you know, advising, resources that they were able to point us into, and you know, in the way of. So, if you're a small business, not even, I mean, in the state of New Jersey, but anywhere, like you have to take advantage of these resources. These people are so smart.
Right.
And I'm so glad that we met them and that they've been with us for so long.
Yeah, it had to have been an amazing, amazing help to you and give you that comfort and that foundation for how, you know, you're going to take this and just blossom with it and make it go everywhere, right? That's incredible.
I think
and the
with,
fact, go ahead.
So I was just going to say, I think without them, we might have spent a lot of time and a lot of money going in the wrong direction.
Energy.
A lot of energy going in the wrong direction.
You're spinning your wheels. They gave you that focus and that drive. So people, you're looking to start a business. You're looking to expand in the way that Lauren and Matt have. You know, you look at your state resources to understand what is out there because there is plenty. So, Lauren, we saw the video of your incredible concept that you and Matt have put together, and you're going to be at the IFE, which is the International Franchise Expo, coming up in June, and you're going to be as part of the SMB Advisors Pavilion, right? So if people that are interested in getting into franchising, you want to come and see them in person, it's going to be at the Javits Center in New York City the first week of June. So it's that June 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, I think it is, right? So you can see them there. And we're also going to put up the contact information for how people can contact Lauren, either to book a party or to own a franchise and get on board with Lauren and her team to become a franchise. So thank you, Lauren, for your time and for coming in today and sharing with us your great story. Continue crushing it. And this is Franchise Focus. I'm your host, Lisa Lankowski. I am the owner of Milestone Franchising. And if you want to learn about several other different franchise concepts, please feel free to visit me at my website at milestonefranchising.com. And until next time, we air every Friday at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Thanks so much for watching.